All right, guys, what's up? We're live, and today, I saw a lot of comments disagreeing with my take in the video that happened this weekend. We're gonna talk about that, but there's a lot of news to talk about. I do want to bring up this Anthony Joshua Jake Paul thing again. I don't know if y'all want to talk about it, but I do kind of want to get into it. Khamzat Chimaev was training with John Jones, took him down with ease, and there's a whole lot of talk. What's going to happen with the lightweight division? What's going to happen with the welterweight division? We're getting a rumored first pay-per-view of January 2026. What will be the first quote-unquote pay-per-view, because it's actually not a pay-per-view. It's just a Paramount Plus numbered card. Yo, what's up, Fishners? I saw Fishners before he was in the Discord. I'm sure he'll hop on the stream. But yeah, so right now we're here. We're dancing, and y'all could join the Discord. I put it in the link. I want to talk about things a little bit real quick before we jump into the Discord stuff. So let's see. Can I see? And guys, biggest news of all, I fixed my computer, so if there should not be any crashes. This should be right now. My computer's working so fast. Like normally, bro, I would be sweating just to set up a stream. Set it up with such ease already, and I'm already in the Discord. So right now we're good to go, it seems. So thank you. Shout out to Vlad, as I've said before. Vlad, big supporter of the channel. We already got someone in the Discord. Yeah, we'll get to the Discord in a second, because I am really excited, because I know a lot of people disagreed, like I said, with my take. For those guys that don't know what I'm talking about, I made a video about Garry and Khamzat Chimaev. They had a little altercation at UFC Qatar. I keep fucking up the name. I keep saying it's like Quarter or whatever, but UFC Qatar. And right now, for some reason, my stream stuff isn't showing, but whatever. But yeah, they had a bit of an altercation backstage where I believe Garry kind of started it by patting him on the back. Khamzat Chimaev being kind of condescending, as someone pointed out in the comment section of the video, or my video, I mean to say. So I agree with that comment, but a lot of people said I was dragging it, saying that I guess that Garry was just being respectful. I don't know. I really don't think that Garry was being very respectful, being like, oh yeah, good job. Like you don't want to hear another man say, oh, good job, do you? You know what I'm saying? Like, tell me not. That's odd, especially in a fighting thing. Well, what is this? I'm going to soon, brother. I was just checking into the stream. I agree with you completely on Garry versus Ken. This is Garry versus Khamzat. I said Ken because that's his name on the thing. What do you call it? Should we then just have him on? Should we just have join? How do I let someone speak? Open stage? Okay. Is this it? What is? Okay. I don't know how to change someone. Okay, leave the stage. Okay. Okay, now you can go, Ken. Let's see. Can Ken talk? Let's see. This will be the real test. Can Ken talk? Can you go be a speaker now? I don't know. How do I make someone a speaker? I wish Shiv was here. If you can't, Ken, let me know. I don't know what's going on. How do I now become a speaker is the question. You don't have permission. How do I not have permission to my own server, guys? I've already lost it on here. Yeah, guys, I wish we need someone that's a little more proficient with the Discord, because I'm cooked. I just cooked myself. Why are you streaming late, bro? Come on, why can't I stream late, bro? Why don't you hop on the Discord, since you're a mod on the Discord, and fix this? To be honest, where are the mentions? What's good, Jack? What's good? Trying to read the chat. Oh, Jack, what's good, buddy? These nerds are keeping me from debating by making Discord require email verification. I'm like Nick Diaz when he was banned for being too real. Bro, honestly, we need Shiv, because right now I'm so confused right now on how to even do this. So whatever, we're just gonna have to talk. I'm gonna try to fix this as I talk, but which is gonna be pretty terrible to do. Let me see. End stage for everyone. Let's see. Okay, I just ended the stage. I guess pick us. I don't know. Okay, start stage. Okay, all right. We got a new stage going, guys. So we got a part 2, so you guys can do it. Shiv is MIA. Yeah, Cam, that's actually what you could do. You could try to contact Shiv for me, low key. But yeah, no. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, where should we even just start? I mean, let's just start with something. As hopefully we'll pray that Shiv could pop out, help us out. Maybe hopefully I could figure out. So I'm the stage moderator. So okay, so someone come in and we'll test it out. If that's Cam, Cam could pop into the stream, say what's up. But what do you call it? Where should I even begin? I mean, the first thing I guess that let's talk about is the first pay-per-view or first non-pay-per-view, first big event. Did you guys hear this? Of 2026. It's supposed to be Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison, guys. A lot of people are upset about this because obviously, look, we were all expecting maybe it could be Ilya. I even saw earlier today, could it be Alex Pereira and Carlos Ulberg? A lot of, maybe excitement, a lot of different, a lot of just high expectations. It's the first, big card of this Paramount deal. It's going to be on streaming. What would it be? And it is Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Like, I don't know how every time it's just a disappointment, low key. It literally is just getting disappointing. And it's tough to do, guys. It's tough. Because man, how hard would it have been just do Patty versus Ilya for January, start off the year with a big event with some big beef, and move on and do something else, guys. Also, oh wait, hold up. Also, I'm realizing, oh wait, what? I pinned the wrong shit anyway. So hold up, guys. I gotta now reshare this link. I realized that's probably why. Also, it's not working. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, guys, the link is in. There's a new link, and you guys could join if you guys want to call in and debate whatever. Now, there is a little bit. I got to figure out how to work this whole debate thing. But hopefully, I should be able to be able to unmute one of y'all. It's supposed to be y'all could talk one at a time, so it won't be interrupting like last time. But yeah, no, so that's supposed to be the big first event, Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes, which, look, at the end of the day, like, I mean, I know people are just going to blindly hate on the fight. Like, I don't mind the fight. It's really not all that bad. But to be the main event of this first big deal is like, come on, dude, it's crazy. Like, I get if this is like, honestly, if this is like a Canada card, no offense, Canada, you know what I mean? Like, I hope I don't piss off any Canadians because, yeah, they definitely have suffered enough with some UFC fights. So I don't mean to throw them under the bus when I say this, but if it's like a mid-year, okay, in between awesome pay-per-views, you throw that as the main event, okay, it's actually not bad, especially if you build a good card around it, because, look, it's not a terrible fight. It really is not that terrible of a fight. There's a lot worse main events we've had. Let's be for real. There's a lot worse, and there could be a lot worse. I mean, imagine they did Kayla Harrison versus, like, anyone else in that division. That would be terrible. So, I mean, I can understand it because it would be impressive to see Amanda come back and win, and Kayla Harrison is a pretty big deal. But to have this as the first event is a bit dumb to me. I don't know what they're thinking in this, to be honest. So that's my thoughts on that. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm curious to know what you guys think. You guys could put in the chat, whatever. I do also want to bring up this other thing that I saw that was just insane. Kind of talks about how, I guess, talented Khamzat potentially is. I mean, could be, because the reason why I say potentially is because it involves John Jones, and we don't really know how good John Jones is. Like, John Jones is getting older. He fought Stipe, yes, but then before that he hadn't fought in a long time. So for me, like, there's a lot of question marks about John Jones. Fishner says, I heard Ilya is hurt. Jack, speaking of Ilya versus Patty, I think Patty beats him, and people are telling me that's crazy. But if Patty uses his kicks, knees, clinch size, and avoids boxing exchanges, he can beat up Ilya. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a crazy take. Do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it, just because, like, I feel like Ilya has good grappling as well, so I think that he's going to be able to neutralize it. But the big thing that does give me pause and why I was kind of hesitant saying it is because of, and I see you, GGN. No, it's GGN. I was just about to actually introduce you, but okay. But if you're in the audience, guys, stay in the audience, because I'm going to call you in. So you guys will get called in if you guys are in the audience, but I just have to, like, transition you in. You know what I'm saying? I can't just cold right out the gate, boom, or hit the ground running. Someone's here, you know what I mean? But what was I saying? I was just saying something else. Okay, GGN is back. What was I saying? It was about, I don't even remember now. Oh, it was about, I think the size is what gives me pause. It is the size. I do agree with you. Kicks is an interesting point. Yeah, if he uses some teeps, maybe he can get some distance. Let's see what GGN has to say. I'm curious. Okay, wait. I think we've might have figured out how to let him speak. Invite to speak. Boom. Okay. All right, we figured this out. Thank God. What's up, GGN?
So what's up?
What's up? What's
What's
up?
what's the argument going on right now or the debate?
Hey, well, you're supposed to be bringing the I thought you were going to be bringing the debate.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
Hey, it's all good. But I mean, in case the whole title of it was based on my video on Ian Garry and Khamzat, about that situation. It was about that because a lot of people disagreed. I don't know if you agree, but if you disagree with that, you can talk about that or talk about your own thing.
What was exactly your take on the Ian Garry Hamzat situation?
So my take on it from the video, if you guys saw, was that I think that Ian Garry started it, to be honest. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, Khamzat started. A lot of people are saying Khamzat's a loser, this, that, or, trying to make it seem like, oh, I don't know, that he has some sort of issue here. And I see you fight sport talk. And like I said, for everybody here, if you're in here, stay in the audience. I'm going to get you to speak when your time is up, okay? But I think that, yeah, a lot of people are saying, oh, Khamzat kind of started, oh, Khamzat pushed him for nothing. I think that Khamzat kind of started it. Khamzat kind of pushed it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, or I'm sorry, Ian Garry pushed it by, patting his back, being condescending and stuff like that. Wait, hold up. I just want to answer this real quick. Yeah, what's up, fight sport talk? Are you Eastern time? I thought I missed your live, bro. It's 11 here. Yeah, no, it is 11 here, but I'd be streaming late, so that's what it'd be. But yeah, you can continue.
Well, my take on that whole situation, I don't know the when the clip exactly started because right when it started, it looked like Ian Garry was wrapping up what he was saying to Hamzat and Armin.
Mm-hmm.
Not from what I saw in the video, when Ian Garry walked away, Hamzat hit his back very hard, very aggressive, and then the security comes in and gets into the middle of him for no reason, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hamzat bugs up, but I don't know. In my opinion, no, you were gonna say something, Jack?
No. I mean, you could. I was saying if you look at the video, I get that Khamzat did slap him in the back, but I felt like that was in retaliation to Ian Garry slapping him on the back first. And also I forgot what else doing. Oh yeah, also like rubbing his shoulder. I felt like he was low key trying to, and they also I suggest you look at my video because I break it down there. Because I talk about like also in the past Ian Garry has talked bad about Khamzat even there, so it's like yeah, so there's even history on top of it, so it's a whole thing, and I find it very hard to believe. And then also I go into because Ian Garry afterwards is playing victim, like, oh man, like I just went up to congratulate him, he's such a child, he should be acting like a champ, even though he literally just got like I think he's just coping because he got like mogged or something. I think he was trying to have like, it reminds me of when Conor was trying to like face off with Tyron Woodley type. Like I feel like that's what he was going for, but it just ultimately like backfired, failed, and all that.
Yeah.
So is that, I appreciate. So if that's all you got to say, I'm gonna talk to fight sport talk. But if you want to get back in, you have another thing to bring up, I'll let you think about it, or you can whatever you want to do. But I'm gonna talk to fight sport talk. I'm gonna bring him in. All right. I moved my guy GGN. Shout out to him for calling in. Let me just read the chat real quick. This also I love this. Shout out to Shiv because Shiv did set this up. Shout out to Shiv. This is a great system. I'm gonna call him Fight Sport Talk. But this is an amazing system. Amazing. I can't say this enough. Shout out to Shiv because now I get to read the chat. Before I wasn't able to read the chat. Let's see though. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, of course, Manny, bro. Appreciate you, Ian Garry and. Ian Garry and Khamzat are both goofballs. I'll tune in for that fight. Sup, John Dong says. Who cares? Did you see John Jones get taken down by Khamzat? Yeah, we were just about to talk about that actually. Thoughts on Khamzat ragdolling Jones in the streets of Chechnya? So yeah, that is sick fade. Where did you get that cut? Why is MMA Joey here? What the hell? Why is MMA Joey here? We gotta get him. Why not? We gotta get MMA Joey to call in. We gotta get MMA Joey to call in. Someone who we've frequently talked about, or in a popular topic of convo. But I don't think that's is that the real MMA Joey though? Let's see. Go to channel. No, it is not. Holy baited, bro. You did bait me, bro. I was like, oh my god. I was like, bro, we're about to beef here. What's up? What's up, buddy? Yo, Johnny, what's up? Y'all having your own combo? Sick fade. Where'd you get the cut? Well, shout out to my barber Ralph. He's been my barber for a minute. Shout out to him. I definitely want to do something with Ralph. I was thinking about this recently. So he's been my barber for a hot minute. I love the guy. I want to like whether it's like a podcast, a stream where I'm getting my haircut type, you know. Shout out to him, bro. I'm not gonna. I don't want to give out too much, but we'll get some. Joey versus Guru, who wins? Wrong. Joey has two Y's. Oh yeah, I see. Bait. The way that dude says Chito Vera is low key funny. Okay. So let me go call in. Let me bring in Fight Talk Sport. I see y'all having a good time. Shout out to y'all for keeping the chat active. Shout out, love you all. Let's bring in Fight Talk Sport. Y'all remember, guys, call into the Discord and all of that. And also let me put out a poll. I'm curious, guys, before we let in, guys, I'm gonna put in a poll. Who you think is in the right, wrong? Who's right? Let's do this. Who's right? Ian, Garry. You guys can vote in a second. Khamzat. Neither. Both. Both for you pacifists out there that, you know, want to make it nobody's fault. Kumbaya. Haircut stream. Good idea. Yeah, I know. No, I definitely want to do something like that. Bro, because shout out to him, bro. But I want to be popping. Also, shout out his shit. But he's like an unk, bro. I'm not gonna lie, he's a bit of an unk. 2026 is not looking promising. Yeah, I know, right? Like the stream chat. Okay. Let's get Fight Talk Sport in here. He's waiting so long. He's typing in the chat. He's like, I'm gonna have more success in the chat at this point. So yeah, we'll bring in Fight Sport Talk. What's up? It's my guy.
What's up, man? It's good to be on again.
What do you think of the new format? Kind of inspired by the beef last stream and all that.
Well, like I said, it wasn't really beef. You know, we were talking about this over Twitter. It was just this guy didn't know when to shut up, and it's nobody's obligated to listen to you. And this guy just had the entitlement of a child, and I was the only one who called it out. But anyway, man, there's a lot of news after the two best cards of the year, and none of it, not to be a downer, but none of it's looking that good. It's all frustrating. So it kind of it's kind of perfect with the UFC's trend lately.
Did they announce the first card for the Paramount merger? That's what someone said in the chat. But
well, no, that's the thing. The obvious thing to do was to announce Topuria Sarukian, because that is the best fight that they could put on. And suddenly we're hearing that Topuria isn't going to be headlining, and look, no one is a bigger fan of Topuria than me, and I kind of in some ways have defended his inactivity, because Sarukian needed, after he beat Oliveira, Sarukian needed to get another fight in because of the stuff he pulled before the Islam fight, and there was no other legit contender. In fact, all the contenders were waiting, so that wasn't really Topuria's fault. But with that being said, Sarukian looked good. He proved himself to be the worthy contender again, and they're not jumping on that news, which is frustrating, because these WME guys, when Francis Ngannou knocked out Alistair Overeem, they immediately announced him fighting Stipe in the UFC kickoff for 2028. 2018. What am I talking about? 2018.
Bro, time traveled there.
They've done so they've done this before. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, which fight are we hearing about? Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. And that's just a massive slap in the face. Like nobody wants to watch that. Nobody wants to watch that garbage.
Yeah.
I certainly don't. And yeah, that's just terror. It's like it's like the classic boxing promoters saying, hey, we'll give you this fight that nobody cares about, and we're saying, hey, we want to see we want to see a unification, and they're like, yeah, but we'll give you this bottom contender that nobody's talked about instead. That would just be
Wait.
terrible.
Well, time out. I mean, wait. Well, are you trying to say in terms of like fight hype, or are you saying in terms of who deserves the title shot?
I'm talking. I'm talking about look as because of time. I'm not going to go on a tangent. I'm just going to cut straight to the chase. Women's MMA is absolute garbage, and Amanda they to the point where Amanda Nunes, the goat by default, can't who can't fight, is coming back from a fake retirement. That's their way of building hype into this division.
That's
So
their like
sorry, but
like literally like built storyline. Like what's the word? Like industry plant storyline. Like they bring an industry
exactly
plant.
everything's
Yeah.
exactly
I feel you.
everything's been created. They can women's MMA cannot build excitement organically, so they've had to force all these storylines down our throats. And yes, of course, she does deserve it, but deserve deserve as in like who really cares about who deserves a title shot
Yeah.
at LFA?
Yeah, well, that's why I was gonna say when you were saying about the lower contender. I mean, I was gonna say like, I agree. Like, look, obviously, first of all, I actually don't even feel that strongly about the fight. Like, I'm not hating on the fight per se. Like I said this. If it was like middle of the year, like like May, in between some dope pay-per-views, in between like that Miami card and International Fight Week, like if it's in that slot, all right, fine, I'll let it slide. Give me a decent undercard. You know what I'm saying? Give me a little bit of that. But in the first pay-per-view of this, or I know I keep saying pay-per-view, but you guys know what I mean, this like numbered card of this Paramount deal. Are you serious, guys? And someone said, I just want to
Exactly.
say this real quick. Someone said, because someone just said this, and I'm going to read everyone's chats, guys. Don't worry. But Alex versus Olberg's January is in works. I don't think that's
Yeah,
true. I don't think that's true.
yeah.
I saw
Up
that
time, I'll
report
get to that.
somewhere, but I don't think that's true. Just because I don't think Alex wants to go down to heavyweight. I mean, go down to light heavyweight. I think he's going to go to heavyweight, and I don't think he's going to do it on short notice. That's my opinion. But what were you going to say?
Well, here's the thing: he will do it on short notice because Alex Pereira always steps up on short notice. This guy has saved more UFCs than John Jones has ruined, so he will do it. The thing that's a little bit, the thing that makes it me a little cool is one, this was not the front runner. The front runner was Harrison Nunez, and also Pereira. I believe he had surgery, and he's been in a boot lately. So could he whip that off and fight? Yes, and Pereira is a man of steel, so it is doable. But the fact that it's not the front runner they would go to is it's a little I'm a little skeptical about it. I mean, again, Pereira he fought Yuri in the rematch at 303 with I think at least two broken toes on his foot, so it's doable, but I'm just not 100% sure. And I'm sure he will step up because he was clearly compromised both with an injury and possibly an illness in the first Ankalaev fight. But again, the fact that the UFC didn't go to him first, and we're hearing about Harrison Nunez, and there aren't even reports that they are trying to jump on the Topuria Sarukian hype immediately. That's what I find most concerning because, and we could talk about this forever, but this is why channels like us are getting attention. The UFC just does not care to mess up at every opportunity because that's what they've done. And Dana White could not care less about the product. So if they're going to give us garbage, they'll do it without any hesitation.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and like we've been saying, I mean, it's been sadly a common topic of just time and time again disappointment, literally at every turn. And like you said, I've been feeling the same way. Like at every possible turn, it's like, wow, you think we're getting at least a little bit. You think you're getting an Ilya Taporia, Paddy Pimblett fight, and boom, you turn the table. But no, I appreciate you, and honestly, dude, you breaking down MMA, like I feel like I could just watch you break down MMA, hear you break down MMA for like 10 minutes or even longer, maybe, like just breaking down a fight. Like I feel like you got so much lore, so much history inside of your brain that I'm like, damn, like I feel like I'm getting taught here, low key.
Thanks. Well, that's why I created this channel.
Yes, bro. Okay, yo,
I
I'm
wish
I'm gonna put you back in the audience. No one's right now waiting, but I'm gonna read the chat a little bit, review the poll, and if you want to stay around, I'll bring you back in. But I also want to give other people an opportunity as well.
Oh, see you later.
Okay. Peace out. But if you want, okay. Well, you just dipped, so never mind. All right, guys, I want to read some of the chat real quick because I don't want to ignore the chat. But y'all, guys, feel free to call in, and stuff like that. And yo, if Vice Sport Talk wants to call back in, feel free as well. Let's see, 2026 messing up big time. Oh yeah, we were just talking to him about that. What's your daily stream schedule like? Are you East Coast or West Coast? Shout out Ian Gary's husband. I am East Coast, so yeah. So I would be right now. It's 11:36 for me, I believe. Yeah, 11:36. So I'm hoping. I do go to school, guys. That's it. As I've told you guys before. So that is kind of why why the stream schedule gets affected. But I'm hoping once I'm on the break and shit, I'm hoping just to, keep going, keep grinding, keep stream a lot more, stream a few times a week. Because, the streams, look, they've been popping off. Like, y'all been fucking with it. The Discord has been growing because of it, and it's really good. And look, we were able to do this poll. I want to review a poll. And let me see. Bro, I can't believe that you have to have a email verification. And I'm confused why that's even holding Johnny Monday back, by the way. Like, why can't he just verify his email? Now I'm thinking about it, but maybe you can answer that. Let's read a few more. You see what they announced first card for the Paramount merge? It should be co-main, and that's talking about the Killer Harrison. I hate that Khamzat is out again. I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't mind the fight in Fish Nerds. I did see said this. All due respect. I'll just read it now. All due respect, I think it's silly when people hate on a fight like Nunes versus Harrison. It's a legit fight. If Ilya's hurt, they can't make him fight. And yeah, I mean, first of all, I didn't hear anything about Ilya being hurt. Someone else said that in the chat, I believe. I don't know. I think someone said it a while back. I saw, but someone said it in the chat that Ilya's hurt. Maybe Ilya's hurt. I haven't heard that at all. But maybe I'm just, I'm not cool like that. I'm not in the same circles, whatever it be. But I don't know. I don't think he's hurt. I just think that because I don't know, like, why wouldn't they just go with Paddy? It's like, just make that fight. I don't know. I don't know what the thinking is. To be real, I don't know what the thinking is there, but it's not that I'm hating on Nunes versus Harrison, though, is my point. It's just we were expecting a big event. Like, I think Ilya would have been a dope guy to start off with because it kind of signifies this is the guy in the UFC. This would have been a great position, I think, to put him and just to advance the company. Because like I said, when there's more stars, it makes the company more exciting. Like, it just makes the company better, and that's just when it's the best, when it's at the best, at least the UFC. Like, give us the fights that we want, for Christ's sake. Let me see what the poll is. I asked you guys who was in the right with the Ian Garry Khamzat situation. I made a video about. Wow, I'm shocked. Because I feel like, guys, I have made a very, what do you call it? I feel like I've made a very convincing argument because originally a lot of people were like, a lot of people were saying like, oh, I was completely wrong and that Ian Garry was not in the right. And look, 47% are saying Khamzat. A lot of people are saying neither now, because I think it's being recognized that, look, you guys can at least see I'm not a sheep here. Everybody was saying on social media, I was shocked. I was like, what? What are you talking about? But if you, like I said, look, I'm not here hating on, I am here hating on Ian Garry simply for the fact that don't go around and play victim. If he was like, nonchalant about it or was like, whatever, like, I don't care, fine, then yeah, okay, then that's respectable. Y'all just got into a scuffle. I'm not going to hate on a fighter for getting into a scuffle, but you know, I don't know. I just feel like how are you going to turn around, play victim? How are you going to turn around and say to Hamza and be like, oh, you're not acting like a champ. Come on, act like a real champion when he started it, in my opinion. But 47% of people are saying, yeah, Hamzat's in the wrong. So shout out to y'all. Let me read some more because I did miss more. Oh, here it is. Thoughts on Gamrot versus Arnold Allen being in the works. So Arnold Allen, I don't think that's true. Arnold Allen is, though, apparently moving up to lightweight, which I'm super kind of excited about. Like, it's an interesting thing. Because, you know, I would have never expected it. My thing that I worry about is he is a bit short. So is Ilya, though, but he is a bit short, like 5'8". Most lightweights are like 5'10", 5'8". So how is that going to play into things, plus his size? I mean, he's saying that he gained a lot of muscle. He's a good athlete, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if the weight cut was what was holding him back. I felt like it was his lack of danger. Like, I don't think he was really dangerous enough. I just feel like, you know, he wasn't getting finishes, and, you know, it wasn't like he was hurting guys. And also, well, really, I should mention the number one thing is really injuries. I mean, the guy gets injured all the time, unfortunately. He's always out, pulling out, or, you know, about to be in a big main event slot, or finally get some momentum, and then, boom, gets taken like that. So maybe lightweight is good for him, and maybe it'll help his injuries. Maybe he won't get injured as much because he'll be living a healthier lifestyle, too. Who knows? Maybe that's an argument you can make. And, guys, remember, you guys can call in, whatever, and we could chat it up. I want, come at me with whatever you got, whatever debate you guys want to talk it out. If I said something a year ago you want to confront me on, if you just want to say what's up, we could also just say what's up, or you could just give me a take. I could let you know if I agree, disagree, whatever. Wonder why they didn't go with Volk though. That is interesting. That they didn't go with Volk, because you could have done Lerone Murphy. But I think Lerone Murphy is Lerone Murphy is moving up to lightweight too. Apparently, I saw like he's hinting at it now. I don't know if he's being serious, but he's basically like, look, if I'm not gonna get another title shot, what's the point? I'd rather just move up at this point because they're not gonna give me a title shot. I mean, they could give it to Movzar, but also they're probably not gonna do Volkanovski because they're rumored to go to Sydney in February, so that's actually probably why. And maybe they do Olberg. I mean, how crazy would that card be? Olberg versus Pereira and Volk versus Movzar. That would be. Give me that. Yeah, I would go crazy for that card. I like that card a lot. Then you can even have Robert Whittaker on there, make his return. You guys could build the rest of the card. Let me know. Let me see. I feel like Olberg isn't gonna strike. I mean, come on, dude. I think he's gonna be able to handle it though. Wonder why they didn't go with Volk though. Oh, I already read that. Oh, man, I read that dumb as well. Jack, the email thing is reported a lot online. When I click the verification for Discord, it's sent through email. It takes me to a blank white screen. Nothing happens. If anyone could help me out with this. Ian, the type of dude to rub his hands and smirk before eating cookie. All right, first of all, are we sure Johnny Monday isn't a bot himself, maybe? If he can't pass the not a robot thing, maybe we shouldn't let him in. No, I'm kidding. No, we gotta fix this. We gotta tell Shiv to fix this ASAP, bro. Ian, the type of dude to rub his hands and smirk before eating a cookie. What the fuck? Yeah, I could see him doing that for sure. I could definitely see him doing that. I could see this is what happened actually with Khamzat. With the whole situation is, you know, he patted him on the back. Khamzat gave him the pat on the back. You know, Ian Garry thought he was in the clear, and he looked at the camera and gave he's right behind me, isn't he? You know, a little Disney Channel-esque action. And rest in peace, bro. Rest in peace, Ian Garry. Now, how do you guys think an Ian Garry Khamzat Chimaev fight goes? I will be honest, at Johnny Monday, I respect Ian way more now than when he started and used to try to act like Conor. I agree. As well. I like when he acts nice. The reason why I don't like him, it really has nothing to do with the cuck stuff, right? I know, you know, obviously there's the whole, Ian Garry's a cuck. You know, I think, I understand, like, at the time, whatever, but, dude, come on, like, I think it's way overdone at this point. Like, if you hate this guy for being a cuck, like, that has been stomped to the ground at this point for the past 2 years. Why I have more of a problem with him is about the Neil Magny situation. For those guys who don't know what I'm talking about, is that Neil Magny, and this might be a little, like, a decent thing to explain, but let you guys will hear me out, though. Ian Garry, right? he was set to fight Neil Magny. They were talking at the press conference. And like the day before, Neil Magny said in an interview, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna treat Ian Garry like a father does to his kid. Give him a reminder, and basically like son him in a way, give him a spanking, like a dad beating, and was like, he said something like, oh, I'm a dad too, so I know how to give one of those. It was like a joke, clearly a joke. Nobody would get offended. Ian Garry goes on the press conference and is like, oh, he should, I think he was literally like, oh, he shouldn't put his hands on a child, making it out like, they should call CPS on him and shit. I mean, I don't think he said that per se. I don't think he ever said, oh, call CPS on him, but he was just, playing it up, being like, oh, you beat your kid, you're a monster, I'm going to beat you, saying those types of things. And because of that, that actually affected Neil Magny's life. And Neil Magny, he literally hurt him in like his custody battle and stuff like that. He said in an interview, which if it was just that, okay, Ian Garry messed up, I'd be willing to forgive and forget. All of that is fine. However, what I didn't respect was when he was in that situation with his wife and was asked, hey, like, do you regret this? When he, was getting attacked by everybody on the internet, I would think maybe he would be a little more humble in the moment and be like, yeah, you know what? I was wrong. I fucked up. Okay, I didn't mean it. Because especially if you're going to stand on this, and this was at the time where he had beef with MMA Guru and stuff, about MMA Guru saying stuff about his wife, if that's your stance, oh, you got to be nice and this and that, then why are you making allegations about another guy with his kid, and then when you're confronted about the consequence of you making the allegation, you're not going to say, yo, sorry, none of that. So that is why, in my opinion, I think Ian Garry, I don't like Ian Garry, is for that reason. I don't fuck with it. It sounds maybe a little, it's definitely specific, but I mean, it might sound little, but definitely I just don't fuck with that, dude. And you're a hypocrite, and I don't fuck with the like hypocrites and all that and shit, like, because there's a lot in like MMA. Let's be real, And Ian Garry is one of them. And that's why I don't fuck with the Khamzat situation. I genuinely believe, this is my belief, that he tried to make a moment like Conor McGregor, Tyron Woodley-esque back in the day. Conor McGregor facing off with Tyron Woodley. And it just ultimately failed. MMA Joey tagged CPS when criticizing Magny before the fight. I like Joey, but that was dirty. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yo, you're doing that for a troll. You know what I'm saying? Like, MMA Joey, come on, he knows that Neil Magny isn't beating this kid or anything like that. Like, if you saw the clip, dude, nobody would think anything of it, Like, literally nobody would watch that clip and actually think, oh, yeah, Neil Magny's beating his kid. Like, there's no misunderstanding. Like, get the fuck out of here. And it's like, it's fucked up. And like I said, I get it. Like, you get swept up in this shit and you forget, there's consequences, especially Ian Garry's going to fight this guy. And I get it. You're trying to get in his head in a way. But, after the fact, maybe, when your stance is people should be careful what they say online, then you should hold yourself to the same standard and apologize when confronted. Don't be a hypocrite, because that just shows you, it's not that you don't like criticism. It's that you don't like when people criticize you. That's a completely different thing. Like, if he held to the same standard and lived the same way he preached, okay, fine, there would be no issue. So that's my issue with Ian Garry, guys. And it's not, and I swear, guys, I wasn't being biased with my video. It just, like, I just think it's facts. I really do. I don't think anybody could deny it. I saw some people deny it in the comments and disagree, but I think if you go literally frame by frame, I think you could literally see explicitly, and Khamzat says the same thing as me, And look, I'm not some Khamzat glazer, guys. I'm not a Khamzat super fan by all means. Like, I picked DDP to pick Khamzat. I'm not some massive fan, but I'm not gonna lie. Come on, guys. You guys know I ain't gonna lie. You guys know I got the facts. Johnny Monday said, I defended Ian until that moment. That was it for me. Yeah, exactly. Same here. And I actually was liking Ian Garry before that week. He actually was someone that I liked because I felt like he was a really, he was clearly, at the time, it seemed maybe more talented than he seems now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he got worse, but, at that time it was like maybe he could, make it all the way to the top. Now, I mean, some people are going to say, oh, why don't you think so? He just had a good performance. He's just lacking, I think. I don't think he's faced, like, really, really good guys in their prime. He faced Carlos Praches, absolutely, and that was a really good performance, obviously, and that was against a young guy. But I don't think he's gonna beat Islam Makhachev. I don't think he's gonna beat what do you call it? I don't think he's gonna beat I don't know who else is in the division that he can't beat. I mean, I don't know. There's a decent amount of guys. Maybe Sean Brady he couldn't beat. I don't know. Sean Brady he probably could beat. That one would be interesting. I don't know. I go back and forth. That one would be tough to say. I'm gonna bring in Fight Sport Talk. He came back, so let's hear if he's got if he's got some. What's up, bro?
Yeah, what's up, man? Thought I'd call back for the matchmaking because after all the downers and all the fights we're not getting or we may not get, there are some major fights we could get. You were just talking about how Ian Garry matches up, and I think it should be Moraes, but I have not Moraes, Morales, but I have a strong feeling Gary's going to get it. And
the title shot,
as much as title shot against Islam, and as much as I don't like him, I heard you talking about how you don't really mind the guy. Personally, I just think everything's wrong with the guy.
Which one?
Gary.
No, I don't like Ian Garry.
Okay, maybe I misheard. I personally think everything's wrong with the guy. It's like, what would you, if somebody was to ask what don't you like about him, I would say everything. But that's beside the point.
Maybe I don't feel that strongly, but yeah, no, I don't like him. No, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm on the hater side.
I think everything's wrong with the guy. But he is, as much as I hate to say it, he is in a position where he could step over the one guy who had beaten him. Because when Rachmanov beat Jeff Neal, I thought he was the uncrowned king. At the time, I had him beating every guy in the top 5, and after his last 2 fights, I can't deny it. The guy's not looking like he's going to be Fedor. So he's got some work to do. He has to beat Prates, Prates or maybe Morales. And Garry could say, look, I just beat the former champ who beat the guy who beat Brady. Oh, excuse me, Bilal did beat Brady. So I beat him, so I should step over him. He's probably... I don't know if he'll get it or not. I think the UFC is just going to pick an event, call up the contenders and say, who can take this fight? Okay, you're out. We'll put him in.
Yeah, and I think so too.
I think Gary's got a pretty good chance. I mean, I did multiple videos on Garry last year. The guy's just, again, everything's wrong with the guy. But what was very apparent to me is that after he had a terrible fight against Jeff Neal, where nothing happened, Dana White defended him in the media, and he even attacked the journalist who asked him, hey, this fight sucked. What do you think about it? So Gary's probably going to get that Dana White privilege. But it's actually not too crazy because he did beat Prates and he just beat Bilal. I think Morales is a slightly better challenge for Islam because of the power, but I'm not sure if any of these guys beat Islam. But the division's stacked, so hopefully we can get him in against one of these guys soon.
Yeah, and who else? So, because someone said, what do you think? Let me ask you this. What do you think about Garry versus Morales?
I think Morales probably wins, but that's not the fight that should happen because Morales, for me, should be fighting for the belt because he did just sleep the number 2 contender. But Garry, again, as much as the guy's awful to watch, he's very good at spoiling fights and not taking a lot of damage. I despise the guy, but he did stand with Shavkat Rakhmonov and he never got hurt. So, and this guy wasn't running around the cage constantly like Clay Guida against Gray Maynard. So he's got skills. He could survive, but Morales, I'd probably favor him because of the power.
Yo, hold up. I put up a poll, guys. You guys can vote on it now. Who should get the next title shot? I put up Kamaru Usman, of course, my guy. You guys know I've been saying he's going to get the next title shot. That's who I honestly think is going to get it. And I feel like that
will be disastrous. Sorry, bro.
I feel I'm not someone that's a huge Kamaru Usman fan. I'm just saying this is how I think the dice is going to roll. I got Ian Garry as well, Morales there, Prates as well. So you guys can go vote there, and we'll see who's number 1. But look, I'm not saying I want Usman to win. I want Usman to get the title shot, I should say. I'm not saying I want that, but I feel like it will. I feel like it'll happen just because, first of all, they have the same manager. You know what I'm saying? Like they have the same manager. Just based on that, it's pretty likely. Because I feel like Ali is gonna be, in the know when they're looking for somebody. He's gonna be talking to the UFC. He's gonna be handling them. I think it's gonna be Usman. And I think more than Morales. I think Morales, and I'm okay with Morales fighting Pratos or something. I think it should be, like you said, Ian Garry or Usman. Like I don't like hate Usman getting a title shot because at least he is coming off of a win, But it's not. I mean, look, it's not the greatest win, but.
Well, it was a good win. I
so
thought...
Usman has one vote, and the person that voted said, "I actually clicked Usman." He said who would get the next title shot, or who should. But you can continue.
I thought Buckley was going to beat Usman, but that's beside the point. Just because I thought Usman would lose and he won, it doesn't mean he deserves the next shot, because he's got one win since 2021. So just end of story. You have to go out there and do more. And I know he's talking about it, and I know Ali's very good at getting what he wants, but I'll just give you two examples. When Usman, the original plan when he was first champion was to fight Colby at the UFC 244, which was headlined by Masvidal, Nate Diaz, and Usman didn't do it, and he actually got thrown under the bus for it. But Ali, he was in the media the next day and he said, "Look, I didn't like this, but hey, that's Dana White for you. That's the UFC, is what it is." And when Fabricio Verdum lost his rematch with Cain Velasquez last minute because Velasquez pulled out, Verdum was penalized for it. So, and Verdum was been one of Ali's guys for a long time. So Ali doesn't always get what he wants. And as I said last time, before that guy kept spurging out, yes, the UFC will often go for the biggest money fight. Rankings be damned, credibility be damned, money is all we care about. And these WME guys are so much worse than what the Fertittas were like. But it doesn't always happen. So I would just say, like, the fact that they didn't announce Topuria Pimblett immediately, and there's a very good chance now that that fight won't happen, because I don't think the fan base would accept it with Sarukian beating Hooker the way he did. So there's always a chance that they'll take the credibility option, not because they're good, not because they're all about credibility, but the biggest money fight, it often does happen, but it doesn't always happen.
Yeah. No, and I agree. Look, and I know Ali doesn't always get what he wants, and I just think, I'm just saying, like, I feel like when everything's so up in the air, when you have a guy that could be in the ear, that's always going to be in the conversation of the champion's next fight, like, I feel like, it adds more probability just because he'll be definitely pushing his guy. And when you look at Usman, I mean, out of all those names, he definitely is, probably the one that has the most selling ability. I think the Ian Garry fight, though, could sell well, especially if they promote it with, like, this Dagestan, Ireland type thing that, that Ian Garry is kind of doing it as. And Ian Garry, for sure, has Ireland behind him. And, I think you do Ian Garry. What I would want to do, I mean, but do I want to see? None of these are really, like, so crazy to me. Honestly, I'm more interested in them fighting each other more than, fighting Islam, to be honest. Like, I'm more interested in, like, Ian Garry versus Pratos, or I guess he's already fought him, but Ian Garry versus Morales, or even Pratos too. I wouldn't mind seeing it again with Pratos, but I don't know, maybe Pratos should improve a little more. But I'm more interested in that, honestly.
I'm going to have to head off right now, but I'll just say I disagree, and this is what fans of big-name fighters, and it's not just Islam fans, I mean, Conor McGregor fans were the worst at this, and so were John Jones fans. They're the worst, where they say, oh, let's have all the contenders fight each other, and then maybe the champion will defend against one of them. That's I hear what you're saying, but I'm just saying this is the tactic these guys use, these fans use, and champions will exploit that. So
yeah.
You have to throw one of the contenders in there with Islam, and can't be Usman. Shavkat needs another win because this division is super stacked. Like, this is back to its GSP days, and Yeah, it's going to be between Garry and Morales. Throw one of those guys in. I hear that you're saying that because Islam's so dominant and he's probably just going to double leg all of them. You don't want to. You don't think any of them will beat him, but so what? I mean, if people are really putting Islam as the GOAT, and I think that's a bit premature, um, not because of his skill, but because of his resume. I've said it before. GSP, Jones, if we're including steroid cheats. But yeah, GSP, Aldo, these guys all have Volkanovski. They all have better resumes than him. But Islam, skill wise, might be the best. We'll wait and see. But if he is at that level right now, put him in there with Morales or Garry right now, and we'll see how he does. But anyway, good to be on, man. I'll be in touch and catch you later.
Yes,
Good to talk to you.
Shout out Fight Sport Talk. Shout out. And you guys, like I said, the link is still open. We're still going for a little bit. But to kind of bounce off what he was saying, and just clarify, like I said, my position. Of course, someone has to get a title shot. But I guess, and I was thinking as he was talking, I guess then fine, Ian Garry, because Ian Garry, I guess, does, in my opinion, present, the most challenge out of the 4 names that I gave in the poll, which I'm curious, what are the poll results right now? Usman, Garry, 50%, Morales, so basically Garry in the lead with 50% of the vote, which, like I said, I do agree with, honestly. I agree. Ian Garry should get the next title shot, I guess, I mean, I say I guess because I don't like the dude, but, it is what it is. Let me see what else, guys. Let me see what you guys are saying. And you guys can vote. Like I said, if you guys want to join in, feel free to join in. Because if it gets slow, I'll end it a little bit. So, if y'all want to, let's have some energy here. Last week we were popping off with the chats. We were talking to everybody. We talked to so many people. Let's do it. All right, I got to call you on your bullshit. Yeah, I was reading this and I was curious. I wanted to talk about this. All right, I got to call you on your bullshit. Ian Garry's last 4 fights were against stiff competition. MVP, Shavkat, Prachas, and Bilal. Oh, I guess because I said that, right? One fight after he was champ, who's had a tougher run. So what I mean by that is, look, Ian Garry, with all of those names, I still stand by what I said. Ian Garry against, and look, this isn't, and this hate doesn't go exclusively to Ian Garry. I would say this, I'm not gonna say, I would say it about Patty as well, but Patty is way worse than Ian Garry. I'm not comparing Patty and Ian. I mean, not at all. But I would compare it to a Michael Morales in the same way I would say about Michael Morales. I would even maybe say the same about in a way I would. Although Michael Morales did actually fight Sean Brady. Which he's a real top-tier contender. But my point is, with all these guys, you can kind of have asterisks with all of them. MVP, he new to the UFC, older, tough. Look, he still deserves credit. I'm not trying to, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to take away credit when I'm saying this, when I'm criticizing these wins. But I'm just saying when we're talking about a fight with Islam, just because he beat these guys, it doesn't make me say, maybe he'll beat Islam now. Not at all. Because, like I said, MVP doesn't do that for me. Shavkat, he lost to, so obviously that's not gonna, make me convince me, but he did pretty good. Prachas, obviously that's nothing like Islam, and Bilal is similar to Islam, but you gotta wonder, he lost JDM, he's older, did he fall off? This, that, and the other thing. You got a lot of questions there. Who should? Ian, who will? Usman. And that's what I think a lot of people are saying, and that's what I think. Like I said, the fact that Usman has the same manager as Islam Makhachev, Ali Abdelaziz, of course, because of that, I think it makes it a lot more probable that we're going to see the fight. I think it makes it a lot more likely when you have somebody that's in the ear of, the negotiations, knowing when they're trying to book these fights. It definitely helps. And, Usman, I think we're going to see probably more of him, maybe more interviews. We'll see. I perfectly called it last week. I accidentally clicked Usman. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Since when does it matter what the fans accept to matter to Dana? Patty is definitely getting that fight. Oh, because you were saying because he said that that fans won't accept if Patty gets it. And I agree with that. We didn't really talk about that too much, but I think that there is an expiration date. If you're not going to make it in January, which at this point it seems like that's not going to happen in January, yeah, I think you kind of have to move on to Arman. I mean, it's November now, even February. When is that? 3 months away, I guess. So, I mean, if you do it, and it's probably not going to be February because that's Sydney. So you have March. You have 4 or 5 months. Yeah. Armin didn't really take too much damage. I mean, I don't think Armin could really be, picky and choosy when he wants to fight, ever since the old stunt back in January, if you will. I want to see Islam fight at least 4 or 5 times more before retiring. I think Shavkat will fight. I think Shavkat will fight, go away, if he only fights 2 times. I don't know about that. I just think that he's injured and gets injured a lot. But I don't agree with that. I also kind of want to end this poll because I want to kind of put up a new poll. Shout out to all y'all that voted because I had an idea based on it. How many times does Islam fight before retiring? Over 2.5? Under 2.5. Now, this is an interesting line, guys. What do you guys think? Over, under. So, essentially, if you think Islam will fight 3 or more times, you're going to vote up. If it's under, if it's 2 or 1 more times, then you're voting for the under. Personally, it's tempting. I feel like that is the line. I don't think it's going to go above 3. I don't think it's going to be, just because of, things that have been said. Is first of all, Islam's already a double champ. What else is there really going to do? What else is really left, to do in the UFC in general? Like, yeah, you could take out a bunch of these guys, but he's 34 already, about to turn 35. We know at 35 is when you're falling off. And Khabib, I think I heard Islam say if Khabib said to retire, he would. Khabib is probably going to tell him to retire early, probably. And if that's the case, I don't know if that was a soft launch to, hey guys, I am going to probably retire early, like Khabib did out of nowhere. I honestly, part of me really thinks I wouldn't be shocked if he fights I wouldn't be shocked if he does fight at the White House, assuming he does. I don't think that'll happen, but assuming he does, I won't be shocked if he retires there, if it's against Ilya and it's just a massive fight and he calls it a day. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe he fights, though, another time. I think I might go over with 3, but I really think 3 is the max. Or I don't think he's doing 4. Maybe he does 4, but I don't think 5. 5, I would be shocked. 5 is wow impressive, because 5 we're talking then 2027. Yeah, we're getting into maybe even, and that's assuming he fights a whole lot. Who do you see Armin at How do you see Armin at 170? Could happen, because I did see that there were some reports that he was having trouble making weight. So if it could happen in the future, then we could eventually see Islam versus Armin. But Armin, he's a bit short, so that worries me. We were talking about lightweights being pretty tall, or being like 5'10", 5'11". Armin's a pretty short lightweight even. So I would worry for him in that regard at 170, because those guys are like now 5'11", 6 foot, so they're even taller. But I want to say, wait, it will be Ilya and Usman / Garry. If he only fights 2 times, it will be Ilya and Usman. Oh, I see. If he only fights 2 times, I see. You're saying Islam. Will be against Ilya and Usman / Garry. Man, that's crazy, man. I think he'll want to fight Usman, because Usman, he's considered the greatest welterweight, this and that. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know who I think is the greatest welterweight, GSP or Usman. But Usman, look, he was really good in his prime, and he was looking like, if he was, I think getting the hand surgery fucked him up, but if he would have kept active, I wonder how long he could have went for, because, I mean, even now he doesn't look bad. So, in all honesty, I know he gets bad rap. I'm not even an Usman fan myself, but he's getting a bad rap. I'm not saying he deserves the title shot, but I'm just saying, he's not a, shite. Armin would have more success than an Ilya at welterweight. Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, that's not even fair. I mean, Armin is a big lightweight that, in my opinion, it seems like he missed weight in the beginning of the year. Well, Topuria was a featherweight a year ago. So, obviously, I mean, I agree with you there, but, 1,000%. I think Ilya is going to fall flat at welterweight. I think that's pushing it big time, Armin, I think maybe he would have some success. He's a strong guy. He's I could see maybe some of that kind of translating, but I don't know. I mean, Topuria, I don't know. We haven't really seen him, with a grappler, with a really heavy grappler yet. I mean, we had Bryce Mitchell, but Bryce Mitchell also said he had like the flu or something when he fought him, and also just didn't. Bryce Mitchell isn't exactly the toughest of tough out there. So, judging on his other fights and his losses since and all that, so it's not exactly shocking. But like, how would he do against someone like Islam Makhachev that has that good at grappling, or Paddy Pimblett even? Paddy Pimblett is probably the best grappler he's ever faced. Realistically, it'll probably be the best grappler he's ever faced. So if he can't beat Paddy, that's a big deal. That's a problem for him. And yeah. So I know one last thing I want to talk about before we wrap this up. But like I said, guys, call in, last chance. Call in. The link is there. And you guys know, guys, once again, if you're in the waiting room, you guys wait. You guys will hear me in the waiting room talk. I'm going to transition very smoothly to let you on. So once again, it's the pinned comment. You guys can just click the link there or the link in the description just to join. What do you call it? I want to talk about, let me read this. It has many strikers. He can get in shock, stocky style, and KO welterweight strikers. Oh, you're talking about Ilya. Look, I understand that, and I've always been one to say, look, I think that size, going up in weight especially, I think it's just better to stay closer to your natural weight, even if it means that other people are bigger than you. It is tough against especially grappling heavy guys like Islam. Like if you're, a skinny guy moving up to welterweight, that's a lightweight and pretty undersized for welterweight, you're probably going to struggle against Islam, right? But I think with him, yeah, he does have power, which I did mention, like that. I think his power does translate to welterweight. Don't get me wrong. And we've heard stories, even I know Jorge Masvidal, people have pointed out to me, and this is a fair point, I guess, that they're friends or whatever. So I got to take it with a grain of salt. But Jorge said he's been rocked by Ilya in sparring. So I mean, if that's true, I mean, Jorge had a good chin in the UFC. So the fact that they're in sparring and getting rocked, I mean, that's a huge testament to Ilya. So I definitely think his power, yeah, does go up to welterweight, but the question is, landing in it realistically without getting taken down, without, running into strikes of his own, all getting the knockout. It's a lot to battle. Moving up in weight, there's so many uphill battles Ilya is going to be fighting. So I don't feel so confident. Khamzat just ragdolled John Jones in the streets of Chechnya a couple hours ago. Oh my God, you were reading my mind, because that is literally what I was just about to bring up before I read that comment. So yes, that was the last thing I wanted to talk about before we end the stream. Is John Jones just linked up with Khamzat Chimaev, and apparently, interestingly enough, which if John Jones couldn't get more desperate, it's this, that he is getting apparently buying an apartment in Chechnya ahead of his fight with Alex Pereira. You guys do the math on that. He is sweating for Alex Pereira that much that this guy is getting a hand-picked matchup. A matchup that he ducked Tom Aspinall for how long just to get a matchup that is handpicked him. And even still, this guy is trying to the absolute max. I hope Alex Pereira knocks this guy out if they fight. But what do you call it? He apparently, I don't know if that's 1,000% true. I don't know if it was a meme, so take that with a grain of salt. I don't know if he's actually getting an apartment there or training there for a long time, whatever. But he was there with Khamzat Chimaev, and they linked up. And there's a video of them grappling, and Khamzat Chimaev took down John Jones. Took him down. And, I mean, that's what I think I brought this up a little bit in the beginning of the stream, because we talked about it pretty early on, but I didn't want to talk about it more, is that, look, it's kind of confusing because we don't really know John's state, because John, yeah, he fought Stipe, but before that he fought Gane, and that was a year and a half before, and before that he hadn't fought, so who even knows how good he is? The Stipe and Gane matchups just could have been really good matchups for him. Maybe he hasn't been the same, but a fight like Pereira, or obviously even a fight like Khamzat, I mean, realistically, I mean, that's going to look a lot different than Stipe and Gane, my opinion. But I don't know. I think he has a good style to beat Pereira. But with Khamzat, I honestly think Khamzat, if they fought for real in the UFC, probably would beat John Jones at this point. I mean, seriously. And judging from that, I mean, it seems like that Khamzat strength is just at another level. Like, Khamzat taking care of DDP was super impressive, because DDP is a really big and strong guy as well. So this isn't like some dude, oh yeah, easy to control. It's not like, I don't even know, like he took down Adesanya or controlled Adesanya, someone that he should have been able to. Ilya's not Conor. Conor failed at 170 because his bread and butter was accuracy and speed, and Ilya is power and precision. which going up in weight doesn't get affected. Well, my concern isn't like I said, isn't about the accuracy and speed. Wait, oh no, you said it was power and precision. Isn't about the power and precision. Because that 1,000% will be there, but when you're going up in weight, you're going up against bigger guys that could first of all take better punches, also that are just longer and taller generally. So Islam Makhachev's definitely going to be throwing teeps in there, which that wouldn't have been changed anyway because he was a lightweight at that size, of course. But it just adds to the matchup. And when you have a guy grappling that is really big in weight, will Ilya be trying to make up that weight? And in doing so, will he have so much weight that during the fight he gets tired? He's not used to fighting at that weight. That there's a whole bunch of issues. Those are all real concerns. So that is all that's the uphill battle he's fighting against Islam. I think that Islam wins, for sure. But we'll see. I mean, I don't think it'll happen ever. Piggly Wiggly says hi. What's up, Piggly Wiggly? Yo, you got to join the stream. If Khamzat was bigger, how would him versus Prime Jones go? Wow. I think that there's a lot of unproven things about Khamzat. Khamzat's looked great at times and looked terrible at times. So it's a little bit, it depends what Khamzat shows up. I mean, it really seems like the Khamzat that showed up against DDP would beat anybody, and the Khamzat that showed up against Whitaker could beat anybody. But the Khamzat that showed up against Usman, I think John Jones beats that one, Khamzat can take anybody down, including heavyweights. It's a matter of can the heavyweights shuck him off? Yeah, I think, or shuck him or off the ground. I think, yeah, that's the question for me as well. I think that they would probably be able to be strong enough not to get into a submission, probably hold him at times, maybe even get up at a certain point, and then beat him up in the next round. I think John Jones. And I think John Jones, with a tired Khamzat, even maybe goes into round 2. But assuming this is a 5-round fight, I think, yeah, Khamzat gets tired. And John Jones also is really prepared for these type of fights, so I'm sure he'll come with a good game plan. Hot take, Khamzat can beat anybody in heavyweight apart from Aspinall and Gane. Maybe, but who knows in the future. So interesting you didn't say Gane, because I think a lot of people would say he could beat Gane. Because that's a weird line, because I don't agree with that I actually think maybe he could be Gane. I don't know. He is a big guy, Gane. That is a pretty big challenge for him. But there's probably other guys that he could beat, that he can't beat. I think Sergey Pavlovich, even though Sergey Pavlovich isn't good, isn't like a great heavyweight, one of the best heavyweights, but I think that style would be difficult for Khamzat to deal with. So yeah, there's probably other ones I could name and think about, but that's one that just comes off the top of my head, and he's not even a great heavyweight. So, that's just based on a style. I wish Khamzat versus Usman happened at welterweight in 2022. That would have been sick, yeah. Man, that would have been crazy. But part of me, that could have been honestly why Khamzat, didn't look his best. We saw with Islam, he looked a lot better at 170. So, like Gable Stevenson, Prob won't be helpless like DDP. He probably can explode out and even take down Khamzat himself. That would be crazy. Gable Stevenson versus Khamzat Chimaev, American wrestler. I mean, that would be good. I think Khamzat would be Gane. I think so. To be honest. Because I feel like I don't know. I think he might. But Gable Stevenson literally hasn't improved anything yet. I get it. Yeah. And that's a whole topic. I was thinking about doing a video on Gable Stevenson. But yeah, there's a lot of unknown about him as well. Who knows how good he'll actually wind up being. I don't know. He could wind up being really good. He got a really good knockout recently. So yeah. He used to take down Gustafsson, a large light heavyweight. Technically, a heavyweight was a 170er. I'm confused what that has to do with the 170er thing. You should unironically wear a tap out shirt on stream. Yo, fuck it, bro. Maybe I got one in my back pocket. If he trains with heavyweights for a few camps, he can win. If he trains with heavyweights for a camp, he can win. Oh, Khamzat? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, can we see him a light heavyweight first? Maybe. because heavyweight is pretty big. But I don't know. Like, he is very skillful as like he has so much strength, and I don't even know if it's skill on top of it, but it's just, man, he just goes at you. And last time it was really impressive. He didn't get tired at all. People really underestimate how strong wrestlers are. Yeah. I want Gable to succeed, though. He is so explosive and athletic, a true American heavyweight champ. Potentially. Great marketing tactics. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, he is definitely going to be a big star in the UFC if he pops off. Maybe he'll be in Dana White's Contender Series next year. I could see them doing something like that, trying to set him up. But he's probably going to have more of these little MMA fights. You know, you gotta really, what do you call it? You got to build these guys up slowly because there's so much competition, even on the regional scene and stuff like that. So, I'm saying when Khamzat was a welterweight, he used to take him down. He is a middleweight. Oh, he used to take him down. Gustafsson. Oh, when he was training. I got you. Like, I thought you were talking about John Jones, so I was confused. Like, what? No, I got you. Yeah, that's a fact too, and yeah, that's also interesting too that he trained with Gustafsson when John Jones also was struggling with Gustafsson, and Alexander Gustafsson has said crazy stories about Khamzat. Dude, you seem like a casual. Okay. He can beat, but at feet it's dicey. He can beat, but at the feet he's dicey. Maybe you're talking about, I don't even know. Oh, a heavyweight, just Khamzat against heavyweights, I see. When I was 17, I'd won 32 street fights. How many did you lose, though, is the question. When I was 17, I fought 14-year-olds. Do the math. Guys. And guys, come on. You guys join the call, join the stream, join the little Discord. The Discord's honestly been popping off this week, so I got to give a good shout out to all y'all. If Khamzat ends up getting double underhooks literally on anybody, they're going down. He's so good in that position. They'll let him lock your hands on your ribs or waist. No, and that's what happened to John Jones. As soon as it got wrapped up, boom, took him down. Boom. Little respect. Respect to you, toothless prophet. But yeah, guys, y'all have been great. Let me see. I want to see the poll also. How many times does Islam fight before retiring? And I said over 2.5. 40% said over 2.5. So most people think it's gonna be 1 or 2 fights, which is crazy. So basically, it's literally down to probably Khamzat. Or not Khamzat. We're talking about Khamzat, so I keep thinking about him. But Islam's probably gonna fight. I mean, I would think probably at welterweight. I don't think he's gonna fight Ilia Topuria ever. I think that's it. I think the ship has sailed on that one. Khamzat's BJJ is low key mid. Yeah, I agree. I think, and I mean, we saw that especially in the DDP fight. But yeah, I think it comes down to 2 welterweight contenders. I think it'll probably be. I think it's gonna be Usman, and then I think it'll be Ian Garry. But who knows? Because the problem is the division is gonna really have some issues with this whole now Carlos. What happens if, let's say, in March, Carlos Prates fights Michael Morales, and then you got Ian Garry waiting for a title shot because you gave Usman a title shot, and then what does Ian Garry do in the time? If Ian Garry gets a win, does he get the next title shot? Then what happens to Carlos Prates and Michael Morales? I mean, it's a whole thing. And then if Ilia moves up, then what really happens? Then there's even more confusion. Hot take: that would suit grapplers more than strikers. What are you talking about? Jiu-jitsu? Or I think you're talking about that. Bro, no way you take a calf kick from me. Let's do it, bro. My calves can take a lot of punishment. Let's put it that way. Khamzat isn't even built like a wrestler. He's lanky. If I didn't know his style, I would assume he's a kickboxer. But he's absurdly strong wrestler. Just squeeze Jones like that and taking him down. Yeah, I know. Well, he's not even bad at striking though. You know, his striking isn't even bad, honestly. Like, he's shown in very little time his striking. It's actually not bad. Like, you know, I wonder. I mean, remember when he knocked out GM3? that was probably like the highlight. But he also like looked, had some decent striking moments against. I'm trying to think against Usman, but there was someone else. Oh, Gilbert Burns. That's who I was thinking of. Gilbert Burns. He had some good striking moments as well. So he's had some good striking moments, but most of it has really been him trying to go for takedowns. You want MMA math? There isn't what ifs. There's only what is, which is that John Jones would lose to Khamzat. I mean, knee on the ground. I picked GM3 in that fight. Yeah, holy tragic, bro. Tragic ass pick. I mean, moving up a weight class, bro. I don't believe. Or no, did he move it? Yeah, he moved up a weight class for that fight, right? I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you for that. You're like, he's battling uphill battle for that one, bro. Remember he was gonna fight Leon back in the day? I mean, that would have been a travesty. I mean, that would have been poor Leon, bro. Leon would have never gotten a title shot. I mean, superior pride rule set would suit more wrestler. Oh, I see. I think I missed when you were talking about that. But okay, yeah, no, for sure. Well, it does and doesn't, because also like the ring is also a little more difficult for wrestlers as well. It's pretty difficult. Like, because the cage at least you can, trap them a little bit better. And now you have a wall. Okay, now you can get it. But like out in the open or, a ring like that, it's a little more difficult. I mean, I know you got nowhere to run at a certain point, but in a square like that, you can get, you can kind of, I feel like it's like harder, in a way. But maybe I'm wrong. Because it kind of is like the same mechanics, but it gives me the vibe that it's like easier. But I can kind of get it being the same. But, all right, guys, last chance to join the call, last chance to ask any questions before I wrap this thing up. Shout out to all y'all. You know what I'm going to do for the last bit of it? I'm going to put in a Q&A. I'm going to put in a Q&A. I just said, ask me some. So y'all could, I mean, live chat, here we are. Y'all can, ask me a question. I don't know how it works, but if y'all want to do it. But we're about to wrap it up. Or you guys remember, could join the Discord call, join the little event we got going on that you guys come in, debate on anything. Absolute last chance. But we're gonna be streaming for sure next Monday. We'll see. Maybe I'll stream sooner. We got the RAM. Yo, this was the first time, guys, in a long time that we did the stream did not crash. There was 0 crashes. Y'all are used to the hold up, guys. Okay, now you got to reboot. And I got to say shout out to all y'all that were dealing with it with me, that were staying crazy that y'all would do that. Crazy. It's insane, and I'm happy, man. It was a great time. Even the people on the Discord, that the Discord was crashing, it was tough. But y'all really held it together and held it down, and now it's fixed. So I'm glad I get to at least you guys get to say, hey, we get to watch an uninterrupted stream, just full on through, no crashes, no nothing. Let me see. Another aspect open for wrestlers to dominate. If knees would be allowed, ground game would be more entertaining. But knees headed to the grounded opponent. Yeah, but yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, I guess like I don't know, like it's weird. Some things that they allow and some things they don't allow, because everything creates damage. W stream, shout out Manny, bro. Fuck with Manny. Manny be chilling. Another aspect open for wrestlers dominate. You know what crazy? Prime Brock Lesnar was like bigger than Ngannou because wrestler cut to 265. Brock Lesnar was huge. From like 285 to 290, he even was over 300 pounds. Oh, that dude is massive, bro. At his heaviest, yeah. That dude is fucking massive. I'm not surprised that he's bigger than Ngannou. We got one question from our guy, Lonely Wolf. Let's see. Whoopsie. Let's do this. How do I get to this? All right. I don't know. We just had a question there. Well, there's a question here. I guess I'll just read it here. Do you agree that rule set would make wrestlers more loved? What do you mean? I want to see the wrestlers be loved. Pause, bro. All right, guys. I'm disconnected from the Discord. So the stream, the Discord side of things ended, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you all for tuning in, bro, for real, because every time you guys tune in, every time I end the stream and a little tear drips down the side of my face, down my cheek, in just pure appreciation of the channel that we've all built and that we've all grinded. You know what I'm saying? This is only the beginning, and we're going to do more, guys. And I love seeing this, guys. I'm looking at the stream data, streaming just all green. Before it would be like red, yellow. Okay, now we're crashing this and that. I can't say this enough. I'm happy. Great stream. Makes me want to stream even more now. I don't got to sweat about this. So, I mean, the grounded knee rule. Does it favor wrestlers? Yeah. Well, it would make wrestlers more. I don't know if it would, because at the end of the day, I think wrestlers, they don't move or they don't, and they think strike too much. Like Armin Sarukian did a great job grappling. That was like the polar opposite of Islam Makhachev, who was holding the guy down for a minute, and not a minute, like longer than a minute, 5 minutes, pretty much a round, and didn't really do too much damage with that. And it was complete opposite, where he's punching and this and that. So I don't think a grounded knee would do anything. Matter of fact, I think it's easier to get up if a guy's really winding up a knee, you know. So I think wrestlers, you know, it definitely adds something to it, but I don't know if it'll make them loved or whatever. What did you say? Do you agree that rule sets would make? Maybe it would probably help a little bit, because, you know, you're gonna increase finishes for sure, increase damage, but I don't know if it'll fix the problem of fans. There's always gonna be fans that are not gonna be happy, and this and that. What do you call it? You to go. Thank you, bro. And shout out to all y'all, and shout out to offensive comments, or I don't know. Are you really from Gaza? I'm from Gaza. How do I fight drones? Free Gaza, guys. That's how we'll end this. End the wars everywhere around the world. And I ain't even gonna touch that with a 10-foot pole, because we can't get JackMMA canceled before JackMMA even begun. So, shout out. I love y'all. See ya, man. I'll see all y'all, and yeah, I guess we'll end it here. Damn, I love y'all. And peace out. And to see you in Wednesday's video podcast. Also, check it out. Mic Check New York City. All time. Shout out Shiv for setting up